You gotta be freaking kidding me. Anyway. All right. Yeah, that's another fun thing we love to do on this live is it's always a gamble. Will the Dadvocate live be mute when it starts or won't it? And this is why you do audio checks, kids. This was a lesson all along that I planned is I tricked you into tuning into this live stream. And as your frustration grew more and more with the experience of me desperately trying to show you something and none of it making sense because it's silent, that was me trying to build character in you to recognize the importance of checking your own audio equipment. Yep. What can I say? You know, that's just the parent in me looking out for you guys as usual. And you're welcome, right? No, for my life, thank you to everybody who actually ends up like putting in the timestamp in the comments of when the stream actually starts. I will try to get into a better habit of actually doing that. I'm amazed that I'm still to this day doing it. We've been really consistently streaming for like a year now. I really don't know. Tom says, no, that was a Tom. Sorry, Jordan Peterson says, no, I've built enough character, thanks. I'm good. Actually, God, I don't need to be your strongest warrior. You no longer need to send me the toughest battles. I'm alright being just a mid-warrior with mid-battles, actually. You know, not to weaponize my own incompetence or anything. Raven goes, Caw, absolute welcome to the membership. You know, it's actually very exciting because the surname that I married into means Raven. So, very warm welcome to you, my murder in arms. Shadow God, so good to see you. Lauren, we can't hear you. Thanks, Shadow God. And then I missed another one from Darren. Sound, Lauren. Super chats are waiting for. There's another one. Samantha, you're mute. Anyway, you know, I can't keep up the mask anymore. The guilt's eating me alive, guys. I actually do that on purpose just to force you into super chatting me. Could you imagine? No, I really am just a fucking idiot, but like, if anybody else wants to use that idea to be a criminal mastermind to absolutely wring out the goodwill of your audience, man, could I ever put you on something? Don't worry, guys. No weaponized incompetence here, just regular incompetence. Just the standard kind, the original model. Lacey says, good morning, do you have your water? I swear I would literally not even survive my own live streams if it weren't for my regulars. I, in an unhinged and unhealthy fashion, have only remembered coffee. The water's out there. I just filmed it. I was like, not today, Lauren. You're going to get your emotional support water bottle and you're going to go in there and give it to those people. I mean, we certainly showed up. I barely made it, only 1 minute late, mute, no animals in hand. Honestly, like, if this is the point where I finally get canceled, I'll understand. Tony Saka, thank you so much for gifting those memberships. Let me tell you guys this. I swear I'll like get into the show, but as a bit more pre-show, into the current life of Lauren. Right now, I'm in one of those periods of life where like things behind the scenes are so bad that I'm going to be so much funnier and present for you guys. Like, you know the old sad clown trope? Oh boy, are you guys gonna get the funniest, most active workaholic Lauren in God knows how long it's going to take things to be gotten through behind the scenes, but if it is one thing that I do as find healthy forms of escapism, okay? I woke up yesterday after not getting any sleep, being up since 3 a.m. and ran 10 miles for example, with my friend. It was lovely. And then I passed out strong at 7 p.m. You know, I decide I'm gonna pump out so much more content for you guys, for example. We're going to laugh so much harder at other people's problems. How does that sound, guys? Is anyone with me? You guys with me out here? Like, you know what? Could use a bit of gentle escapism too, actually. Let me get a hit of that gentle escape. That gentle escapism. Let me get a little drink of that. Yeah, we're not facing reality today, okay? No, we're gonna put all that behind us and have some fun. So all of that was to say, everybody who just got gifted members by my amazing community who I love so much, you're about to get a shit ton of early access because we about to crank some work out. Let me catch up on these super chats and then we'll really get into the theme of the stream, okay? Brandon says to get yourself some more coffee and water later. Thank you. I will let you know though, I do not do that Starbucks stuff. Okay, me and TJ, we have our own little area, our own little coffee bar. We call it The Roost, and we make our own every day. So I think when I did the math, because we do buy some bougie creamers, we buy a bag of sugar, and that's about it, but like that's all we need. And we like to get good coffee too, like the good beans. Still, I think I average like a cup of coffee between everything is like 47 cents a cup here at The Roost. Okay. So it like I've got that down to a science. All right. SVR says is the no bottle full and safely removed. We've got, I will say, the arsenal of no is very well stocked. Super no, we could stand to get some more. Clearly, we've had a few super no's in the building lately, so we will need to replenish. Shadow God, thank you for the 10. Says, I know we don't get political here, but I wanted to celebrate the life of a good man who stood up for what he believed in. He taught me a lot and gave me courage to be strong in my beliefs. I miss him. Wait, who are you talking about? What happened? Sorry. I'm sorry. I did not say that to be tactless. I said that because, God, we all know. That's the joke. We all know. But, yeah, crazy week. Crazy week. And no, yeah, we don't like to get too political here. Mostly because, like I said, I like to keep this a pretty light place. Obviously, we do cover some hard issues, but at least that tends to not be one of them. And I also avoid politics because I get way too nuanced and people hate it. They're like, pick a side. And I'm like, I see both. God forbid. Dylan, so good to see you. So sending my most fulfilling, it is what it is. You know what? I so much appreciate that to thoughts and prayers, both due to uniqueness and whimsy, but also like, way to just keep it real, you know? ADH Dad, thank you for gifting memberships, Phil. You absolute sweetie. Man, we were having fun in the group chat today this morning. I woke up riffing. Will Honorless, thank you for the 2, says, hell yeah, barely holding it together, gang. By the skin of our teeth. One thing I've been saying a lot is the horrors persist, but so do we, gang. So do we. Cameron says reality, spicy cat hiss. Oh man. All right, let me get a sip of that water bottle though, because that was just steady. Riff after riff. Maybe I can get Cokes and Animal to come use the animal camera. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm an idiot. You see, I'm lucky that I'm funny and kind of cute. Because the brain cells are not being held together. Y'all, this entire time, the last 10 minutes, possibly more, that at first I was yapping to you with no sound at all. Then I was reminded to go get my water. Do you guys want to know where it was? Still under my water filter on the sink being filled. This was just being filled with water for 10 minutes. Just me tapping that water bill button like, bah, bah. Get on up for me, water bill. Jeez. You know what though? I got the water. We got the water. Yeah, I'm just mashed potatoes in human form at this point. But you know what? We love mashed potatoes. And I got the gravy for you. How about that? All right, Zalmji, another quick one before we get into the theme of the stream. It's Monday, so I'm here for like 10 more minutes. It's the neutrality and devil's avocado we stay for. Keep it up. Casual super chat support. Hey, thank you. Sad you can't stay, but you know where to pick back up on this stream later. And at that point, you can listen at 1.5 and just get in, get out, you know? Oh my god. Shift control, when I read your comment, I just took all the coffee in the coffee pot at work. I thought your username was originally shit control, and I'm like living up to the user handle. Because after a full pot of coffee, oh man, pure liquid at that point. Okay, I'm having too much fun. We have to stay on focus. Okay, we got to get into it. We don't. It's not that serious. Listen, let me just do the spiel. Welcome or welcome back to the Dadvocate live stream. This is a place where we typically talk about dating, relationships, marriages, breakups, divorce, parenting, co-parenting, making fun of cheaters, calling out double standards, and all kinds of other bungholery and buffoonery in betweenst. This is also an audio-only friendly show. So while we do react to visual cues, I will be doing my best to verbally describe absolutely everything that is going on to you so that you can keep driving your car, walking your dog, lifting weights at the gym, whatever it is you got to do, that not be staring at your phone if that's not what you want to do. If you really don't like long stream content, you just kind of wandered in here, you'd rather watch something more like 20 minutes ish, I've got that for you. If you want to just hop over to my videos, I always cut these down, usually always cut these down if they're cut downable, so you'll get other content if you don't want to hang in here. But if you do, use the chat feature, use the super chat feature, have fun. It's live, very interactive experience here. And if you're not watching this live, like I said, watch on 1.5 and enjoy the Mickey Mouse voice. I've heard that my laugh sounds very silly on 1.5, and I went and listened to it, and it's kind of like a which I can only imagine what that's going to sound like all sped up. And I think that's about it as far as things go. One last announcement. If any of you guys are interested in meeting me in person, tickets are on sale for Barofest 2025. It is a male-only event. I will be the only woman there, and I will be escorted by my husband, so I will have a male by association at least. But it's run by a really great friend of mine named Ralph. He is in charge of Dad Starting Over and Help for Men, an exclusive community for men that it is designed to really uplift them in their masculinity, give them a sense of brotherhood in a way that it is not so like radical Andrew Tatey. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more chill around there. Like, it's okay if you take antidepressants. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be speaking a bit there. You can talk to me and my husband on how we accomplished 50-50 equal shared parenting and a positive co-parenting relationship against all odds. We'll definitely be trying to put some folks onto stuff there. Oh yeah, and Patreon's still 25% off with code TRIPOD until, I think we got a couple weeks left of the back to school sale. That's about it. I know, I think that literally being the only woman to attend a Brofest is as bro girl as it gets at this point. I guess I did win that hat. Oh, yeah, I said 2025. I meant 2026. My bad. My bad. Thank you, Shadow God, paying me to work for me, I guess. My Dadvocate canceled. So today's theme of the stream is, today we are going to be doing a little deep dive into the secret community of pro cheating. Okay, we've looked into this quite a bit in the past, as I first discovered a community like this like 2 or 3 years ago was the first time that I ever covered one of my favorite pro cheating communities, Cheating Chelsea, as we know them here on this channel. And after covering this community that seems to be specifically built for the other woman, the affair partner, the other man, the side piece, I listened to this woman speak about a lot of how, sorry, Had to clear my throat a little bit. She speaks often on how she is the only one who knows how to do this. Like, she is the only one who's doing it right. Everything else out there is just giving really bad advice. They're trying to shame women who are sleeping with other women's husbands, and there's no need for that when all they really need is support and to be understood. A lot of what these communities turn into is, I'm sure to no one's surprise here, basically just circle jerks for side pieces to pat each other on the back for being side pieces. And the most wild part about it is like how they just tell on themselves. You know? I think if you've ever wanted to like get in the mind of a cheater, like what is going on in their head, as it turns out, there are so many places to do that. Like, I'm going to show you today where cheaters go to just leave their diaries open on the worst possible pages you could imagine. And then we'll pick up those diaries and read them. Because, it's all public facing, baby. Oh yeah, Shadowgat says, did the new tier get added? I haven't seen it. Dang, I don't know. I might have to look into that. I guess it didn't. My bad. Jordan Peterson says, pro cheaters? You mean grifting shitbirds? That's what I said. What did you hear? Before we get started, I have one quick little piece from one of the usuals. All right. This was a new video that dropped, and it just made me giggle. Let's giggle at it together. If you are not familiar with this face, this is the face of... I'm a huge fan, as you all know. One of the #1 fans is of Cheating Chelsea. And she is the owner of the page The Other Woman and the Wife. Okay? This is a page where she offers her coaching experience. You can pay her... I believe it starts at like $200 a private coaching session for her to kind of share her unique experience and knowledge as being someone who not only cheated on her own husband with someone else's husband, but successfully got him to abandon his wife and kids in China for her. And you can too. And like, I gotta tell you, I gotta admit, there's a lot of women who are down for it. There's a lot of women who are like, ugh, this married man just won't leave his wife. What can I do? And she's like, $200 and I could give you some pointers. And they're like, let's go. Right? That's kind of what we've got going on here. So as you can imagine, like that hasn't really gone well. A lot of her comment section is filled with like, what the f are you doing? Why are you glorifying cheating? Especially because this creator in particular is very antagonistic. If you haven't been following along, one of the videos that really like made this woman famous was a series that she did that was things that your husband was secretly doing for me while he was in an affair with me behind your back. And it was her like, it would be this lady dancing, and like while she was like dancing, it would be like he was opening up a secret bank for me, he was telling me he loved me on your birthday, like crazy hurtful things, and then like just dancing. And then she'll come on here and go, no, I'm not trying to antagonize betrayed spouses. So yeah, a lot of people hate this bitch, basically, is like what all of that was supposed to mean. So she knows this. She knows she doesn't have a great reputation. And that was just an important forward before, as context, before you watch this video and why it's so funny.
You guys had me fooled. You had me fooled. I thought I was never gonna make friends in my new city. But guess what? I just had a friend come over and have coffee. And she's cool. So, I'm not as bad as you guys make me out to be.
Is anyone else's cringe meter firing off like an alarm right now? I'm sorry, but let's start this from the beginning. We got grandma side piece coming up in the new kitchen. This is now like the third city she's moved her kids to in a year. I do not know what is going on with this woman. She's got litigation after litigation, pissing people off left and right. Ain't no stability going on in these kids' lives, in my opinion. But she's going to show up in her brand new kitchen for some reason talking like Paula Dean. I don't know why. She must still be in like masking mode, that she like has assessed a whole new accent part of her multiple characters that she presents as, I guess. Up in her best kindergarten teacher from the 80s denim dress, talking about some. I don't even know what that outfit is, but I am outfit shaming. Okay. Talking about, I really didn't think I was going to make any friends, but I did have someone agree to sit for a single cup of coffee with me, and it wasn't terrible. So there, I guess I've disproved all of the allegations, and I'm actually an amazing person. Like, this literally did the exact opposite of, I don't even know what she was trying to do here, but just imagine that you are so insidiously despicable and generally universally disliked by so many women that you have to use the very first female presenting human you find as a token online to prove that the whole train clapped. The secondhand embarrassment that I feel is off the charts. Out of this world cringe levels, dude. I like the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up at the thought of, like, imagine school has begun and you're like picking up your kid outside of the school, and someone's like very desperate mother approaches you and is like, "Hi, I'm new to the city. Do you want to come over and have coffee and our kids can hang out?" And you're kind of like, "Sure, okay." And you do, and you're like, "That was awkward, but you know, it's suburbs life." Then you go and you start doom scrolling on TikTok and like, holy shit, it's her. It's denim grandma lady. What's she doing on here? And it's her like bragging like a one of the scariest psychotic characters of a horror movie online, about how she's actually not as intolerable as everybody thinks because she was able to trick some kid's mom into having coffee at her home. Now imagine you go and see what the rest of her content is. Lady, it is not a flex that you tricked someone into talking with you for an hour before they found out, you know, the rest of you. How long do we give it, chat? How long do we give this blossoming friendship? I want to know. You notice, like, we don't ever get to see the woman. We don't get her name. There's just, all we have is this kind of ghostly evidence in the background of, like, a Starbucks cup. Like, God, she seems like the kind of creepy and desperate enough woman to, like, go grab her cup out of the trash and be like, see, there's her lipstick, and there's another woman's name, so you know it wasn't, I didn't make it up. You know I didn't make it. I have friends. See, women talk to me. Like, oh God, girly, like, I get it. Doing what I do, having a male dominant audience, I'll have a woman every once in a blue moon be like, I bet she doesn't even have any female friends. Like, tell me you were the kind of girl who grew up without any female friends without telling me. And it's like, Yeah, I could make a clapback video showing like, oh yeah, well, here's me with this friend, and here's me with this friend. But I don't, because that's a terribly cringy thing to do, dude. Like, I would not put my friends in that situation. Just like if one of my friends was like, hey, can you be in a video with me really quick so I can prove to some internet stranger that I'm actually capable of making friends with people with vaginas? I would be like, what the fuck are you getting into online? Will Honorless says, I have a friend. Yeah, so did Manson. Which one? Because, like, all of the Mansons I can think of right now are, like, on trial for some shit at this moment. Jordan says, food for thought. She only said she had coffee with someone. I could say I'm 6'3" and 150 pounds. It doesn't mean it's true. You must have started typing that before I had my, like, look, it's not the same coffee theory. No, I'm thankful that she at least isn't that bad, I guess. I am curious to see some of the comments on this. There's just people saying, I'd be your friend. Oh, this is that's depressing. But, you know, good for her. Good for her finding friends. That's important when you're like that. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so here's what I started getting into. Where do I begin in my cheetah research? Here we go. So I wanted to show you a couple of different communities that I found. These are the two main subreddits that I came across. I wanted to share these with you. It's just what a fascinating area of the human world. This one's called r/the other woman, but it's also open to the other man. So I'm assuming that this subreddit is actually where Chelsea got her idea from to begin with, because we have seen Reddit posts in this community from a user who has the exact same handle that Chelsea has now, which is the OW and the wife. And with how litigious Chelsea is, you would think that, like, if someone else was using this handle telling stories about, you know, having to get an abortion with the married man's baby, that she would maybe, like, want that removed from her likeness or something. Who knows? Maybe she has looked into it. I'm personally assuming it's just her, though. But the description of this, with 500 weekly contributors and or contributions, like 500 posts weekly, and over 7,000 weekly visitors. This is a page that is described as, I'll scooch myself over so you can read this. For affair dynamics where one person is single and the other is married or attached. This is a non-judgmental space for the affair dynamic of a single woman or man in an affair with a married or attached married person or attached by marriage person. Wait, what the fuck is the difference between married and attached by marriage? You're you're just saying the same thing twice. What do you mean? Yeah, for people who are either married or identify as married, is that like what you're trying to say here? I guess it's nice of them to, like, maybe they're just trying to be inclusive toward fiancés. Like, they're respectful enough to fiancés to call them marriage adjacent, but not respectful enough to not cheat on them. So that, I mean, okay. Here you can discuss your experiences being the other person or occasionally a married person and seek help from those who are going through and or have gone through being part of an affair. Note, our sub does not cater to affair dynamics stemming from sex work, prostitution, sugaring, etc. Okay. So as you can see, you can kind of like look on here, see what they have. They have like different flares. There's like former other woman, current other woman, Good vibes only is when they're posting about like how happy they are banging someone else's dude on the side. Occasionally you'll see confused, gone no contact. It's interesting like seeing the different terminology here. So like of course OW is other woman, OM, other man, MM married man, MW married woman, AP affair partner. This one's in my feelings, and this one's my favorite one because you can just click the tabs and get like right into the flare. Hold on. Oh god. I don't remember how to filter by flare, but I love going straight to the caught ones. You can filter it and just read all of the stories of them telling on themselves getting caught. Hold up. Yes, I joined. Okay, we gotta. How do you? Am I like an absolute moron? How do you sort by flare? I know that there is a way to do it, but I'm having a brain fart moment. Either way, this is one of them. Okay, another one. Caught, there's a tab for being caught. That's yes, this is what I'm saying. Like this is the what's so fascinating about the underbelly of like sub cheating culture is the way that they just like absolutely tell on themselves here, you know? It's fascinating. Here's another one. This is like even more telling. This one is r slash cake eater. This one's a lot more like subterfuge driven, right? Like if you saw this, you probably wouldn't think like, oh, r slash cake eater. That must be a secret community for people having affairs. Like, and all it is, the picture is just this random person with cake. You would have no clue until you read here. Now, this one's not as popular. Again, it's not as obvious. So it only has 15 posts a week and only 1,500 weekly visitors, but this one's described as a warm, motivating, and accepting place for cake eaters. Now, I've come to find out cake eating is when you have your cake, you want to eat it too. You're in a happy marriage. They'll describe it. There is no judgment, and potentially you can meet a cake eating partner. Cake eater definition: a person who is married, generally happy and satisfied, has regular sex with their significant other, is not planning on divorcing or separating or looking for an exit affair, and is additionally having sex with other partners. So like they're porking their wife. That's great. They love porking their wife. There's nothing wrong with the wife they're porking. They just also don't care about disrupting her pH balance by fucking a bunch of other randos as well. And as you can see, they've really rebranded that. They've come up with this like much more clever title cuz cake eater sounds a lot nicer than like vile cheater, right? Now we are breaking the rules. One, no anti-cake eating talk or judgment. This is a pro cake eater place. I also don't know what R for R is. That's one I haven't quite figured out. But we'll see things like which country has the sweetest dessert? Which is like ridiculous. What a like stupid boomer question. What like you'll hear guys ask this sometimes like what country has the hottest women? Like what the fuck kind of find something smarter to talk about, I'm begging you. What is a good subreddit to just have a sexual chat with someone in a relationship or not? Grieving the affair partner. What is this? Looking for a girlfriend experience. When cake gets annoying. How to approach my boss. Married with a boyfriend. I love them both. Very appropriate super chat from SVR here says, the cake is a lie. Oh yeah, Joel earlier asked, do women actually have real friends? Yes. Not all of us, but yes. Oh yeah, let me see. Hand of Omega. Is it creepy to say you look better, nicer in glasses? If I have a glasses, I would say yeah, it is creepy at that point. It's kind of like but like it's not. I think it's like unintentional. Like that would definitely be more on like the tamer end of unintentional creepiness, you know? Like soft you're the asshole. Just because like it's always awkward anytime you like accidentally project like a fetish onto someone else who's obviously like not enthusiastically consenting in a way. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to like be a complete asshole, but I just think about this often because there are people with like feet fetishes and it's like, do I have a right to complain if I go out to the beach and someone is like, "Oh yeah, that's going in my foot bank for later." You know what I mean? Like it's like it's virtually harmless in a way. Like is it really oppressive or like, assaulting to me that they have those thoughts or like there's people with like sneezing fetishes, for example. And like every time I sneeze on stream, I have no idea if someone is like clipping that and saving it for their own, salacious reasons. Like, there's there at the same time, like, what am I gonna do? I can't just like completely prevent fully being objectified for whatever reasons people may have. Like, otherwise I'm gonna turn into what am I gonna do? Give myself the feminist bangs to attempt not being perceived? Nah. The horrors persist and we will be perceived, whether we like it or not, folks. Yeah, Lotus Eater, but that's an inside thought. But that's an inside thought. Anyway, man, this has become such an unhinged stream from start to finish. I just learned about smoking fetishes. Yeah, can you imagine that there's like just people who hang out in like the back lot behind Chili's, just waiting for people to go on their smoke breaks, just like, oh yeah, that's the stuff. Puff it. Puff it. Like, we never know. None of us ever know at any given time if when we're in public, we are like catering to someone's peak sexual fantasy just by existing. It's a rough life out here, ain't it, folks? What are feminist bangs? They're the bangs where it's like straight across bangs, but they're really high up. And from my understanding, they're called the feminist bangs because they are designed specifically to not be made appealing to men. So that the hope is, this is where the feminist part of the ideology comes in theoretically, is that it's now like a feminist statement because you're kind of forced to like interact with her from a purely non-sexualized standpoint because she's made herself non-sexualized. Does that make sense, or did I just make it worse? Yeah, but also like some people genuinely find the micro bangs, like they're not doing it for like a sociological reason. Some of them just genuinely find the micro bangs cute. I've got to imagine that's a lower population than the people who are doing it to like make a statement, though. But I don't know. There's maybe probably a strong Venn diagram. Okay. I'm just reading some of your comments really quick. Why are micro bangs rebranded to feminist bangs? Yeah, and there's probably a lot of people out there who are like, no, my cute bang style and now is telling people that I'm an aggressive feminist, but I just like short bangs. I just don't want hair in my face. Mm-mm. Sorry, everybody. The gays took the rainbow and the feminists took the micro bangs. We're never getting them back. That's theirs now. Anyway, back to cheaters telling on themselves. Some of these, like, I'm already like, if there are any of these that you're like, please read that one right now. Oh my god. Now, what in the hell is this one? Okay, now the metaphor and allegory of it all has just gotten to a point where I'm like, do you guys have your own entire secret language? This cake eater posts, edible stray paint won't dry on chocolate. Oh my god, is this one of the rare times that someone posted to Cake Eater as an authentic bake eater with a real question? No, stop, because this is the funniest thing. The fact that, like, all these people in here are like, hey, what country likes to cheat the most? Hey, anybody want to cheat on their spouse with me? Anybody want to be my fifth partner? Amidst all of that, there's this person in here unironically like, help, I make cake pops and someone wanted golden accents. I used a can of edible paint, but they're still wet a day later. Should I buy luster dust to try and dry it out? How can I fix this before delivery? Why is everybody asking if I have a husband? Oh my god. That is hilarious. And like the odds of them never finding out what went wrong are also so high. Oh man, yeah, rest in peace to their inbox for sure. They're also trying to see if the cake eaters will rat on each other here. Is my wife a cake eater? Outgoing call, 5 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 minute. I don't know. That or she like just keeps rolling over on her phone at the same exact time every night. Why aren't you waking up to go find out yourself? It sounds like your wife has a very consistent cheating schedule and has completely set you up for success, buddy. Just wait, set an alarm for 2 a.m. and wait. I mean, damn, I didn't think I would be giving like how to catch your cheating spouse advice today, but like, I mean, that's the golden ticket. It sounds like you'll have your answer as long as you, well, okay, never mind. My bad. I missed this entire giant December 12th here, that was only on one day. Okay, no, I think not enough info to tell completely if your wife is a cake eater. Needs more context. Not sure, buddy. Another one. Look at my double chocolate chip zucchini bread. Even more hotel adventures. This is so hilarious. The sub has devolved between like, hey guys, can anybody rate my banana bread to, oh, we did so many different positions in the Motel 7 before I sent her back to her husband with my handprints on her ass cheeks. Look at these brownie bites. What are these perverted boomer questions, dude? Which cake is best for celebrating Cake Day? Your own, you pervert. You sick bastard. Oh my god. Yeah, this one's pretty trash, but I have found some specific ones. We'll look into some other ones, because like I said, I want to put you onto these, you know? If any of y'all are suspicious, that's how you can find out. Did you guys clip me already? Hold up. No, stop, because this is okay. Excellent clip. Good work, guys. I'm saving that to my notes so I can go back and share that later. Anyway. Okay. Here's another one I found. This one's called loveshack.org. Once again, for the other man slash woman, the other side of the story, support and discussion for those who find themselves involved with a committed partner. Now, as you can see, this is giving like very early 90s HTML vibes. This one is definitely not as popular as some of the others, but I did find some choice posts from these forums that I thought were just interesting diary reads from the mouths of cheater babes. Okay. I love, Cameron says, okay, now brownie bites sounds like a weird innuendo. Yeah, yep. And I'm sure they're taking these and running with them too for their weird little cake language. This one is definitely a bit of a cheater karma story, to say the least. 11 years after D-Day. That's another cheater term for Discovery Day. the day that the affair was found out. A lot of betrayed spouses use this term as well in betrayed spouse communities, of which there are a lot more support for, obviously, because there's sorry, and not a lot of us are like, oh, but won't anybody think of the cheaters? Like, sorry. But 11 years after D-Day, daughter still won't accept my new husband. By heartbroken mom. God, this just reminds me so much of like the kinds of parents you hear about who are now like cut off from their kids. These are the parents who like literally kept them from their dad or from their mom their entire childhood, convinced them that their dad hated them, made up all these lies. Then they finally like meet the other parent and find out the true story, and they cut off that parent, and that parent's like, I'm the victim here because my daughter doesn't want to talk to me anymore. And it's some of these parents who get cut off by their kids from purely their own actions, I just have a really hard time feeling bad for them. Same with like parents who get cut off because they cheated. Like, yeah, you did something that showed your character, like your entire ass, and it wasn't pretty. Like, yeah, people are gonna judge you forever now, dude. Oh, thank you, Peter. Says R for R is Redditor for Redditor, especially dating hookup in this case. You can see that I'm if there was any further evidence, like, sorry, I'm not genuinely in these groups. It's there. God, imagine, fuck. Imagine your spouse cheats on you and it's with a Redditor. Just put a pew pew in my head at that point, dude. Like, fuck. Insult to injury, dude. Anyway, here's what she has to say about it. 11 years ago, I left my husband of 23 years and still remain with my affair partner. I don't know if she's saying this to be like a I won the breakup, like I left, it was my idea kind of thing, or like if she got dumped and is just phrasing it that way. Who's to say? But she says, my youngest daughter was 16 at the time and discovered the affair. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't sound like it was your choice then. It doesn't sound like you simply were like, okay, I'm leaving everybody. The house is changing. Kids, this is your new stepdad. It sounds like you got caught by your kid, which, yeah, of course that's going to make it worse. It's going to be traumatic for, like, you even just to tell your kid, but the fact that, like, your kid found out about it and that's likely what led to your spouse finding out about it, like, yeah, you're cooked, dude. There's really not coming out back from that. Oh, King Dom, so good to see you. Don't get to catch as many lives anymore. I noticed due to crazy working hours, but just want you to know that I'm always keeping up with your stuff. Aw, yay! I do catch your comments because every once in a while I'm like, where has Dom been? And then I see your comments and I'm like, okay, he's still here. He's still here. Whew, haven't lost him. I did get worried about you for a second. What? How do you catch your comments? Okay, even Siri is trying to help you out, mods. Let's keep reading. It has been a rough decade to navigate through special occasions, holidays, birthdays, vacations. Had I known the severe consequence of limited time with my youngest, I may have sacrificed my happiness and made a different choice. Oh, brother. I see what she's trying to do here. She's trying to, like, appeal to emotion here very fallaciously. She's trying to... Oh, if I knew how much this would have hurt my daughter, I would have just thrown my own happiness aside. Like, this is not a zero-sum game, ma'am. There is not either your happiness or your daughter's happiness, and how dare you continue framing it that way. All that tells me is that in this past decade, you have still, to this day, chosen to take zero accountability or responsibility for your role in the devastation of your relationship with your daughter and the loss of that child you could have experienced with her. To this day, because she's still trying to, in any desperate fashion, format herself as the victim in all of this. Like, oh, everybody just wanted me to surrender my happiness so they could all just live in this conventional happy family. Like, as if there's no other options, as if the world is just that black and white. But no, that's why these people need these forums and need to pay Cheating Chelsea, apparently, is because the rest of us are just not going to approve of people's delusions like this. We're not just going to endorse this type of cope. She goes on to say, however, that is not possible. I won't ever be able to have both. We do have a good relationship, but she has set very strong boundaries. Good. Recently, she got engaged, and I'm so happy for her. She is having her wedding out of state and will be going alone since other man is not allowed in her life. Because of this, my 5 closest friends will accompany me without their husbands, since my husband won't be here. God, this woman is freaking insufferable. Oh, so you won't let me bring my amazing husband, who's the only reason I'm even happy right now, mind you? Okay, fine. I'll just bring 5 additional guests, multiplying my cost to your wedding by so much more than anyone else would have cost you. Now, maybe I'm just being presumptive. Perhaps the daughter was just being incredibly charitable and was like, because I don't want him around, you can bring as many other people as you want. And she took that and ran with it. Maybe. But I don't understand a situation. Like, it just doesn't seem consistent with a woman who's drawn hard boundaries with you that she would say, I will not be allowing him here. So here, you get an extensive guest list, a privilege that no one else who never cheated on their spouse doesn't get. I highly doubt that this is a woman who has given every single person on her guest list a +5. That does not seem like in any remote way even believable to me. It sounds more like the woman who has failed to respect boundaries and has graciously taken liberty upon liberty of welcoming as many people into relationships that ordinarily do not involve that many people would simply just do that again and over invite a spectacular amount of unnecessary guests. That's what I'm assuming happened. Because, God, as if cheating couldn't be your worst quality, you're also just taking over your daughter's wedding and trying to cause a scene and making it all about yourself because you think that you need 5 extra emotional support humans to get you through the fact that maybe your daughter just doesn't want you to be at the same place as the man that you cheated on during one of the best days of her life. Wow, I'm going to read this comment from Yog Slagyanar, actually. To be honest, I'd clearly state, you can respect my wedding more than you did your own, or you cannot come. That would basically be saying don't come, because the standard for marriages she respects is so far pretty low. All right, let's keep reading. I have accepted her choice and have made peace with it. Is there anyone else out there in a similar situation? I continue to hang on to a glimmer of hope that one day she will be able to be in the same room as my new husband. He has been very supportive and mostly just feels bad for the pain I endure with the limited mother-daughter relationship I have. The next step in her life will be having a baby. I think she may really need my help with babysitting and support, but do I continue to allow her to call all the shots? Ma'am, when it comes to someone else's child, you quite literally do not have a choice. Oh my God, this story just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. To read a cheater's diary is to truly know all layers of hell, dude. Because this lady really went, poor me. I don't get to show off how much my daughter loves me because she doesn't. Well, maybe when she's overwhelmed and overly consumed by motherhood, she'll have to talk to me. Maybe she'll have to rely on me. Oh, but what if she wants to have boundaries there too? Do I let her get away with that? Do I just let her tell me what rules there are with her kid? I mean, it's my grandbaby, so I should be able to do whatever I want to do with my grandbaby. Like, I miss Sam, I already knew you were gonna have some shit to say on this one. I already knew Sam was Arthur Fist meme so hard, just it says, no, don't let that woman near the baby. Oh god. Yeah, she's like, oh, please be so forced into a desperate situation that you have to come crawling back to me. Lady, that woman will sooner like go through financial ruin taking out loans to pay other women to watch her kid before she's gonna ask you. Dude, that, trust me, she will never be down bad enough to put you in a position where you think you have any authority or any, like, she doesn't want you to have an impression on her children. She doesn't want you to have an influence on her children. To see, oh yeah, it's totally fine for people to break apart entire families in one of the ugliest ways possible and then throw that betrayal in our face all the time by trying to bring it around constantly. And we just accept it and we just move on and we just get to, like, to some people, they can move past things. Family is so important that they're willing to forgive even some horrible choices made. And there are ways to have relationships with family members you don't fully trust at a distance with an arm's length. But I would absolutely not blame someone for wanting someone who cheated not only on their spouse, but at that point on the whole family to be one of the people who's most responsible for influencing my child. Sorry. Oh, hi, Sim. Good to see you. I did catch your chat. Let's keep reading. Okay. I'm not looking for sympathy, simply wondering how much do I accept this punishment, shame, and guilt. Also, I will be financially contributing to the wedding, and my new husband's name will be on the check, as it is our money. Thoughts? Wow, what a final 1-2 punch after an absolute litany of slug behavior. Like, what an actual anal hemorrhage of a woman. Jesus Christ, did she really just end all of that with, I mean, how much do I really let my daughter get away with this? How much do I really let her keep setting reasonable boundaries and then goes right into, and by the way, I reminded her financially that he's always going to be around. Like, you really are the worst type of person. And this is exactly how I know she will never rely on you for babysitting. She will never rely on you financially. Dude, expect that check to come back to you. Once she sees that you wrote your husband's on it to like send a clear message, she's not even gonna cash it, dude. F your money. That's you money right there. Okay? And I know this because, like, I am that way. Maybe she won't. Maybe she'll cash it and just be like, whatever, mom, I'll still take your money. Some people will do that. They're not, like, that bad about it. But, like, if I have even the remotest inkling that a person offering me financial help will use it against me or will use it to try to gain influence over decisions, over my life, over my home, over my channel, I do not want your money. I do not need it. right? I mean, like the people, my own audience knows, y'all give me super chats, but you know that I may or may not take your suggestions, right? Like there's no way, like anybody who tries to use money to almost like guarantee a position of control in someone else's life, like you expect to have spit in your face at that point. Like there are some people who might take your money, who might accept that, but like especially a child who's already endured so much from you, I really don't think she needs your money, dude. A lot of you are saying you'd refuse it. I am curious, chat. Definitely vote. Would you like? And let's up the ante. Let's say it's a fat check. Let's say 10 grand. 10 grand. A lot of you, that's the whole wedding. Covers the whole cost of the wedding and then some. Some of y'all could just even if the wedding's already covered, use that for the honeymoon. We're talking big money. Your toxic, cheating mom. And this, I'm sure everything we just read from her own mouth, I'm sure that's still just the tip of the iceberg. I can only imagine what else this girl went through in her childhood. Knowing the patterns of parents like this, I can only imagine it was a lot of projecting her own insecurities, trying to control her, so much of that. Would you still cash it and just refuse any influence she's trying to do? Like, take her money, but be like, oh, you thought that gave you influence? No, I'm taking your money, but you will never have a say over what's spent with it. Or would you just refuse to take it in totality? Like once you saw that name on the check, that spouse's name that you banned from the wedding, knowing that that was her little way of like, see, he's still here and he'll always be here, whether you like it or not. At that point, would you just be like, don't need it. Don't need the money. Mixed bag at this point. Once we up to 10K, then it was like, all right, I'd take it, but then I'd block her. In this economy, I'd take it and ignore her. Yeah. Honestly, once I upped it to 10K, I started to change my mind a little. That's when I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'd cash it. Cash it, but like, yeah, no, you still don't get to control me. No. Notice I didn't even give you guys the option to accept the money and then bend the knee. No, we don't even do that on this channel. We don't even entertain that thought on this channel. Oh man, that's right. I'd take the money and do what I want. Take the money and use it to buy a billboard with her face that says, this cheating mother thought she could buy my love. Oh God. I love Lotus Eater's response. I'd take it, block her everywhere, and then take out my dad. No, sorry, let me rephrase it. Take my dad out was what they said, and use it to just... God, that would be awful. Yeah, the 10K bought not only bought my allegiance, but my mercenary ship too. Yeah, that was a very bad vocal gap. Let me see. ADH Dad, I will cash this under enormous protest. Spite cash that check. Oh man. Dude, that one was actually a lot crazier than I thought it was going to be. Like, I started going in through these other communities and I was like, okay, let me pick a couple that I think might be interesting to read, but I didn't even fully realize how bad that one was going to go. And I wonder if they're just going to keep getting worse, because this was another one we found out. This one's called, Did His Wife Find Out for Real? But first, a super chat from Jordan Peterson. Thank you for the 10. Very generous. I would leave the check uncashed under a magnet on the fridge. Let that 10K unresolved check sit there and make them worry every time they balance the checking incorrect. Well, that would only work for like a month though, because don't they like... Who the fuck is trying to call me through FaceTime audio? It doesn't say spam risk, but I don't recognize this number. Not today. If I didn't have more content, like if I was really lacking in the slop today, I would like take a scam call and mess with them for funsies on stream, but we've got bigger fish to fry and super chats to read. But yeah, yeah, Jordan Peterson, that's funny, but I do think checks expire after like a month. And, you know, we're not inviting our mama over enough for her to see it anyway. Better just cash it at that point. Hammers, thank you for the 5. Says, I feel like taking the money and then refusing to comply is a bigger FU than refusing outright. Or are we just telling ourselves that to make up for the fact that we took the money? No, it's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking the money, but I also just don't think she should be surprised if that money goes back into her account. Like if the daughter does refuse it. Anyway, let's read this next one. Did his wife find out? For real? So me and my MM work in a village. My hometown is 100 kilometers far, but I rent a home near his village. He lives 2 kilometers away from the workplace. He is married for 18 years with his wife and has grown kids. Let's say there are about 4 to 5 villages between 2 big cities, and the whole area found out about our affair when we both admitted what we did to one guy from the village. He first admitted it when he was drunk, and then I also did by confirming it by being clumsy. And then the rumors started and spreaded. So you're both fucking morons. I mean, yes, literally and figuratively, actually. They are both morons and they are both fucking morons, as it turns out. So y'all live in a small ass town and you decided in your small ass town to just hang out together in front of everybody. And then when they were like, hey, you guys are drunk and flirting, are y'all cheating with each other? And you guys were like, yeah. And now you're like, why does everybody think we're cheating with each other? Like, is it really a rumor if you yourself told people you're doing it? Like, guys, if I come on my live stream today and I go, hey, chat, why am I having such a hard time coming up with something like absolutely ludicrous, but like, hey guys, I got a tattoo of another man's name on my ass cheek. And then I see later throughout the week, there are like tweets or Reddit posts about like famous men's advocate gets another man who's not her husband's name tattooed on her ass cheek. Wouldn't it be fucking crazy if I was like, wow, how did these rumors spread? Where did these rumors come from? Like, is it really a rumor if you said it, if you yourself disseminated that information about yourself? Anyway, so now that they're cooking themselves alive, yeah, I think the wife probably knows. The guy is his close childhood friend, and all the coworkers know since about 1 month ago. You told this man's closest childhood friend that he's cheating on his wife and you don't think his wife has any clue? This part is crazy. We started in December. It was an emotional and physical one, and I have asked him like 3 to 4 times, what will you do if your wife finds out? He cheated 6 times on her with me and at work. We were always together. And now, after all of this, he still told me he isn't brave enough to go out with me again. That he is a good boy now. No, I didn't misread that one, guys. This says he is a good boy now. What the kind of conversation was that? What kind of insane conversation is that? A conversation where she approaches him at work and is like, hey, we've already cheated 6 times. Look, I wrote it down in my cheating counter. I have my cheating abacus with me, my cheating abacus. It measures how many times we have fornicated. As you can see from the cheating abacus, we have fornicated 6 times. Why now, after our 6th coitus, are you questioning what we have when we've been able to get away with it 6 coital times in front of all of our colleagues? What makes you worry, sir? And he goes, nay, banam. I am a good boy now. And then he like goes off into the night. What? What is this entire interaction? He told me that he had discussions with his wife last week and he won't destroy his family, But then the next day, and for almost 1 week, he tried talking to me again, staring at me daily, orbiting my social media, and so on. And I called him one morning after a while. I knew he was at work. He is a driver, and I'm working in office. And after we talked, in the evening, he came to tell me to not text or call him anymore. And when he isn't here with me at work, because I don't know when the wife could happen to be near him and what will happen then. He doesn't want a problem because he fears she comes to make a scene here at work. Yeah, I mean, this is all very reasonable. Do you want her to come make a scene at work? Do you want to be unemployed and single? Like, that's a not the most greatest place to be. It's fine to be single and employed. Being single, having your greatest loves unrequited by a married man, and not even earning any money is just kind of a bit of a devastating place to be, don't you think? Will says, cheat sheet. That's funny. Oh my god. It's kind of like when we said spreadsheets and Phil changed it to spread cheeks. That was a good one. Now he keeps running home, not spending time with coworkers anymore, not smiling and joking like before. He's always looking with his head down, no smile, soft voice, but he still tries to interact with me in small ways. However, now he also avoids eye contact with me after a few weeks of going back and forth. He told me people do call him out, even in the store, and watch him his every step. Okay, so why you know all of this and you still titled the post, does his wife know? It doesn't matter anymore. If she doesn't know, this is the only way it stays that way, don't you think? Like, if she doesn't know, everybody sure is suspicious. Like, everybody believes he has, clearly. Like, what kind of discussions did she think he was having with the wife? Like, she was like, oh, you weren't able to gaslight her enough? She still, can't you just, like, tell her, like, no, it's fine that we're friends? Just, like, tell her we're friends and we need to be friends. Come on, just tell your wife we need to see each other. Like, girl, it's over, dude. Like, he's trying to reconcile with his wife and keep his job. Like, you clearly understand that. Like, chill, dude. It has been around 2 weeks since he said he had talks with his wife, but some coworkers say it's not true, that he is telling lies. Okay, well, even if he never talked to his wife, he clearly is telling you not to talk to him, so just believe him. Like, doesn't no mean no? Is it me too? Hello? Like, lady, he told you to leave him alone. Leave him alone. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't have the most sympathy for cheaters, but, like, consent is still consent, man. Since it got discovered by coworkers, he makes angry scenes here, gets angry and frustrated, runs away fast as soon as he finishes tasks, and many men at work keep talking about him to me, like how scared he is, coward, and how he can't take responsibility for what he did. But they also joke that he will hook up with you again, or he will end up with you because he won't have another choice. But he actually did end it with me. He just still works here. He didn't block me anywhere. It's just that he is in panic/survival mode. But I have no idea what is happening. I just heard people telling me the whole village knows since 2 weeks ago. And the wife does know/meet/talked with many coworkers here. Do you think that things will get quiet if he broke up with me, or they will blow up? Okay, ma'am, he did break up with you. You do know what's going on here. And things could maybe go quiet if you chill, if you move on with your life, if you stop being a bunny boiler and go find one single person in all these various villages and cities who is actually single to occupy your every single thought and emotion. Cause again, like you're playing with fire, lady. Like it's weird. She's still gossiping with these guys, and she's clearly clinging on to these weird gossips about like they're clearly making fun of her, but she is like so delusional that she's taking it to mean like, so you're saying I have a chance? Like they're making very dark humor jokes about how he's totally going to end up hooking up with you again because he's not going to have another choice because eventually his wife is going to leave him. And they're like, so I could still get runner up. Like, so I could be the life raft. The consolation prize could be mine. Like, it's like we already know they're desperate because they're accepting crumbs from literally married individuals. But it's really sad to see just how desperate, isn't it? I mean, we're really there. We're really at the bottom of the barrel. And yes, Erigar, you're right. Erigar says she's asking questions because she wants answers that validate what she believes to be true, ignoring everything else. That is exactly right, man. That is exactly it. Like, you know what's so crazy too? And this is like one of the other like very bad parts of affairs that people don't think about while they're in their kind of active addiction state is what are you going to do when you're the side piece and this dude dumps you out of nowhere to try to preserve his marriage. And now you're in this situation where you still work with the guy, you still have to see him, but he wants nothing to do with you. You're getting cold ghosted hard by someone you have feelings for. Everyone at work is talking about you. Your job is in jeopardy. You have no idea at any given moment if this wife is going to come in any moment screaming at you. You are living day in and day out with anxiety, and you're not even getting dick anymore. The dude's even dumped you. Now you're single. That dude's still getting laid. In fact, it's been reported that many times when wives find out about affairs or potential affairs, they go into a hypersexual response where they attempt to reclaim the bond through sexual activity. Okay? That's obvious. I would never encourage anybody to manipulate that. A lot of these cheaters in these cheating spaces admit to manipulating that, like that they like when their wife is afraid they're having an affair because she gets hornier. It's fucked. But a lot of them are still getting like, you're not. You're living with all of the anxiety from the affair and none of the dick. How sad is that, dude? And like that's why I talk about this so much and why it's really important to me that we talk about the actual realities of affairs and not listen to people like Cheating Chelsea and pro-affair communities that try to dress it up and make it look like it's just cake when the reality is like especially you as the side piece are the most likely to walk away with the most damage. The most likely. Most of these people stay in their marriages even after discovery. Most of the time. And you know who often ends up getting the most shit end of the stick, even though it's definitely not warranted? You, the side piece. You get blamed for everything. You're the scapegoat. You're the home wrecker. You are the coochie that gets humped and dumped and then left and discarded. Like, there's so many reasons to not go down this path. There are so many reasons that if a married man starts talking to you, it's not worth it, dude. It's really not worth it, no matter what he says. No matter how much of an asshole he claims his wife to be. No matter how much of a dead bedroom he claims that they're experiencing. From what I've seen in these communities, 9 times out of 10, they're lying. They're cake eaters. And you're about to get used and discarded by these narcissistic cake eaters. And you're not innocent either, honey, if you know there's a wife. I mean, look, you got it kind of coming. But like, you can think about it and not be the bad guy. You can get close to doing it and not be the bad guy yet. Let this be your sign and not fully go there. Do not do it. Come on, Icarus. Fly back. What's this other one? No, we did that one. What's another one here? And here's one. The last one we'll do from Love Shack, where we actually hear from an other man this time. Very similar stories, but a gender swapped version. Affair partner's spouse just discovered affair. I'm a single man and have been in a 1-year affair with a married woman. We've both said we're in love and will marry someday. She and I have both called the other my future wife, future husband. We connect on a mind, soul, and body level, unlike anything I've experienced. I'm personally divorced over 20 years and have had another broken engagement about 12 years ago. Anyway, all seemingly perfect until 2 days ago. It always blows my mind how many times you hear people who are literally in affair relationships going, everything was going perfectly until, well, everything was just sunshine and roses until. I think you mean to say, well, I was successfully deluding myself and living in denial for long enough until. I had gotten a loving good morning text at 6 a.m. and by 7:30 received a text saying he had discovered us and she had confessed. They had a family vacation planned the next day and went ahead. She has been contacting me periodically by email as opposed to text. I have a feeling he told her to block my number on text. The emails, though, or her emails, though, are somewhat shorter in length. She proclaims that she still loves me, is in love with me, and still refers to me as her future husband. What can be read into this? Selfishly, I hope he divorces her because I don't think she'll voluntarily leave her comfortable lifestyle and the damage to her reputation in her small town. What will likely happen from here? Am I likely to be confronted by him? Do I tell him the whole truth? Any thoughts appreciated? Fucking woof, boys. Oh my god. I cannot imagine. And look, I don't always look at a conventional heterosexual marriage and assume the man must be the breadwinner and the woman is just absolutely helpless without his funds. I know the data. I know that not to be true. I know that roughly 50% of all wives earn roughly as much or even potentially more than their husbands, right? It's not very many who are solely dependent on his income. However, based on the other snippets that we get throughout the context of this, her comfortable lifestyle that she's not willing to sacrifice, I'm assuming bro paid for this vacation, dude. And if not, like that's still half his wealth going to this vacation. That's still his investment of the work days he took off, all the vacation planning he did, if anything he bought for them and the kids to go there. Dude, could you just imagine like booking an entire vacation for your spouse and the day before you leave, you open up her phone and she's sending "I love you, my future husband" to some other dude? Hell no, dude. I'd be going. I'd still be going on vacation. There is no. All right, if you want to be on the flight, fine. We're not going together though. We aren't going together though. If anything that I have access to that they don't, if I can't do, I'm canceling their ticket. I'm going by. Have your man pay for you. He's so great. That's your future husband, baby. Have him take you on vacation. Go on. What's stopping you? What? He can't afford it? Oh, he's not able to do it for you? Shame. Bye. Oh my god. And again, wives aren't the only one who go into immediate damage control mode. For a lot of people, like their first reaction to finding out that they're being cheated on is, okay, I have to, we have to work through this. Like, I have to save my marriage, you know? For a lot of men who have a lot on the line, and not even emotionally, but financially, asset wise, child wise, God knows how the courts treat men and custody after a split. Okay. For a lot of them, he's in survival mode. You know, it's like, as much as we want to say, like, oh my God, dude, stand up for yourself. Like, you just found out that your wife is a cheating harlot. Like, do not go on this vacation with her, dude. What are you doing? She could literally be actively carrying some other man's baby. Do not go on vacation with her. But I can't victim blame too much, right? Like, he's gonna try and, I don't know, maybe it's just completely non-refundable, and he's like, I'm just going to try and get my mind off this. I'm going to at least go enjoy the vacation. Maybe he's even like, we're going to go spend this vacation talking about how to fix this, but like, clearly this is like the worst part, is like, there's no best case scenario we can even afford at this point, because we know that she's still on vacation emailing the dude. She has the balls to say to her husband, like, yes, I'm doing this, but I swear it's over now. We're done. On the platform you know about. Like, oh my God. And that's only part of it too. That's just part of it now too, because now you've got this guy, like, she's planning on maintaining the affair. The side piece is planning on maintaining the affair. They're both still planning on porking each other for as long as they possibly can, despite the fact that he even knows she's not going to leave him. And now he's asking, do you think he's going to confront me? My guy, you have no survival instinct. Do I think that it is even remotely okay to physically attack someone that your partner is cheating on you with? That's assault. That's illegal. And I mean, depending on how bad they take it, it could be a potential attempted murder charge. You could really, really be put away for a long time. That said, I also believe that pedestrians have the right of way and that cars shouldn't hit them. But if you run into traffic, the cars are not going to magically stop just because they shouldn't hit you. You still run the risk of getting your shit wrecked anytime you someone else's spouse. I mean, be so reasonable. Should they hurt you? No. Will they? Many history tends to show yes. And it's especially dangerous as an other man, because like, catfights happen, but women just don't tend to be as physically violent. Now, women will come for you in other crazy ways. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why women are so focused on this reputational damage aspect. I mean, I don't even want to talk about the number of men who do lay hands on their wives. Obviously, that's a terrible consequence that could happen as well. Unjustified, but all things that we know throughout history to be one of the many direct results of people's extremely emotional reactions to being betrayed. It's just something that we know psychologically. You're poking the bear. You're lighting a fire where there does not need to be a fire, dude. Like, that's so dangerous what you're doing. Dude should get a dog. Everybody who does not want someone to break into their house and steal all of their things and then shoot them dead should get a dog, honestly. It's straight from the horse's mouth, man. The criminals themselves say that. My old lady is that violent. You know, some of us are. But it's like, dude, and Cameron says I just cancel her return ticket. Okay, that's amazing. No, that's brilliant. That's so funny. Really trick her into thinking this is where we really make things right. Just kidding, bye. Good luck getting back, lady. It is dangerous though, because I think there are also laws about, like, if you're married, you can't just kick someone off of a bank account if their name is on it. So it's tough to fully protect yourself financially in a bad situation like this. But man, what a freaking moron. And the fact that he's still, like, just such a, like, absolute loser that he's like, oh, well, she won't ever leave him because he's actually kind of chatted up, but maybe he'll finally get sick of her and then I can have the leftovers. Like, That is so deeply pathetic, dude. Just like waiting for someone to get divorced so that you can try and have a chance with them. And what's so funny is we've even covered some of these in the past where the people will post like, well, my married man left his wife, but then he didn't even choose me. He went and started dating someone else. And it's like, yep. What made you think anything was guaranteed with someone who's willing to cheat on their marriage? Why would you take that gambit? How you get them is how you lose them, baby. What you talking about? So good to see you, Prudence. Have a good rest of your day. All right. Here's one other space that I found. These did get harder and harder to find. I do wonder how many of them there are art out there with like more secretive titles, like cake eating communities, for example. But this was one of the final ones that I found. This is actually a, I don't even know how to fully pronounce it, a Quora page? Quora? Not sure. Quora? Quora? But this is like, I didn't even know you could make Quora communities, but apparently this is one. And it's got 38,000 followers. So it's actually doing like even better than the subreddit community. There's 21 posts a day. So maybe not as much as the weekly contribution, but like some pretty regular contributors on a pretty regular basis. And this is basically a place for those battling with being the other person in a relationship. Listen to understand, not to respond. So, like, kind of the motto of this cheating community is, if you're here to tell me your thoughts on my cheating, I don't want to hear them. I only want you to listen to me gaslight you and make excuses for my behavior. So if you're not willing to sit here and believe them and endorse them, don't open up your fat trap, okay? That's our motto. Complete and pure validation or get the out. These are echo chambers. This is not to be confused for a democracy here, okay? Here are some examples. This one's kind of interesting though, because like it's everything is more positioned in like a question format. So I got some of these here pulled up for you. This one's interesting because it asks, is being loved the same as being chosen? And again, this is important. It's very important for us to look at these communities that are designed entirely for a safe space for cheaters, for people having affairs to be able to openly speak everything on their mind, unfiltered, knowing that they will never receive anything but praise and validation. And what's the first question they ask? It has to do with getting picked. And this is why I need you guys to focus on this and pay attention to this, because these people, these side pieces, and specifically women, I hate to say it, but we know through all of the research, the studies, even self-reported data, that women are far more likely to engage in mate poaching, to base their quality and attraction of a man that is actually good to be around how many other women have vetted him already. Men don't care so much about that. Men look at a woman and they're like, I don't care what you guys think. This is my choice. Like, it doesn't matter how many other men have been with her. That's never going to prove to a man that she's good. He's only going to use his own determinative abilities. He's not going to make this a popularity contest. For the most part, I'm speaking kind of boldly here with blanket statements, but to be honest, it's true. Even myself as a woman, I do look toward a man's past partners, how he is accepted and appreciated by women as a standard of his character. Absolutely. It's not so much in the same degree as mate poachers, where I'm like, Wow, she has a really happy, loving relationship. I deserve that instead of her. But a lot of women think that. Many men think that way as well. There's plenty of men who do not care if a woman is in a relationship. It's not going to stop his pursuit. He's just not going to be more likely to be attracted to a woman based off of other men having chosen her. Does that make sense? Do you guys agree that's fair? Feel free to argue with me in the chat, but that is my belief. That's been my observation sociologically throughout my life. But my observation is that way more often with female side pieces as opposed to male side pieces, these are also more likely the types of people to post about it, to talk about it, to even be remotely proud about it or share this information with anybody. When you look at other people communities, it's mostly women. But what's most important for them isn't being loved, it's being chosen over someone else. The love is great. The love is also secondary, possibly even tertiary to the competitive need to be chosen over another woman. This is not the popular woman experience. This is not just a passing bridge into girlhood, right? Like, this is just a very specific type of woman. But there are certain types of women where they see a woman who is experiencing a lot of happiness with a man. She's hearing her brag about the man. And this is usually a woman who has been hurt by other men in the past. She gets jealous. She wants that. And sometimes she even starts to convince herself of things of like, I don't even know why she gets this husband anyway. Like, I don't think she's as pretty as me. I don't think she's as fit as me. I don't think she's even as funny as me. And you know what? She doesn't even like to watch sports with him like I do. And she doesn't even cook him his favorite meals as often as I would. And you know what? I would be a better partner for him. And they just go with it. It is a real freaking phenomenon, and that is why you end up seeing one of the number one questions in the other woman side piece community is being loved the same as being chosen, because they know that they're loved. They feel that he's attracted to her. They feel that he wants to have coitus with her, but she's not feeling chosen. She's not feeling very picked right now. As should no one when their partner is married to someone else and isn't leaving them. They're not winning the contest, and that's always going to bother them. Like, it's crazy, right? Like, and there are some side pieces who are very like loyal to the side piece game. They're like, oh no, I will never blow up our spot. I will never care that he has a wife. I encourage their marriage, in fact, because I don't want to have a man who is all over me. Like, some people, like, they stay in their lane and they know it, but most of these people, they're just sitting there waiting for a married man to leave his wife. He's not going to do that because you're already giving him everything he needs from you. Right? Why would he pick you, the reliable free box, over the person that it would cost tens of thousands to possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars to leave? You're already giving him what he wants. What? Kristen says they love their pick-me dance. Don't they just? Also, what did I miss? Cheatergeddon? If you go back to the beginning, we touched on our favorite old girl. Our favorite old grandma side piece. We had a little bit of a roast session there, but we're continuing to roast cheaters. Right now, we're kind of diving into some other communities. Because I feel like the cheaters out there deserve to know that despite what she claims, cheating Chelsea is not their only option. There are others. Mostly I'm making fun of these communities in general, but in the end, I actually will point you guys to some actual, like, coaches and therapists that I think probably are doing a better job. Phil says, is coitus today's secret word? I know I have dropped it a bit. I'm trying to find some alternatives to dirty words, you know? I could just start calling it parcheesi, I guess. Here's another one. Has anyone been pregnant by a married man? What was your experience? I just found out I'm pregnant after 2 years of seeing him and have had multiple D days. Oh my god. What an absolute mess affairs are, dude. Just multiple discovery days for that poor betrayed wife, dude. Are you serious? So they cannot keep it in their pants at all, to the point that this has happened multiple times. Multiple times this man has groveled to his wife and gone, "I'm so sorry, baby. It was just a one-time mistake. It's never gonna happen again, baby." And it just keeps happening. And now, after it's like multiple times of that, multiple times, "I swear to God, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna find the Lord." Now she has to become a stepmom in her own marriage. Mm-mm. Crazy work. This is also a good time to point out to people, dude, these side pieces are bunny boilers, dude. As will your wife be when she finds out you're cheating. Look, here's the deal. People go crazy when they find out they're being cheated on. And I don't know that women always go crazier. It's hard to say. Women might have a lot more of an emotional reaction at first, but I would probably say men probably take the cake for like actual physical violence responses in response. Probably, but it's tough. You know, there's a lot of bad reactions, but like one of the non-violent bunny boiler things that a side piece is very likely to do to a married man that she is getting very impatient waiting around for him to leave his wife is she'll just start poking holes in the condoms, dog. She'll be like, "Yeah, I swear I'm still on plan B. No, I swear I have an IUD. Actually, I don't even have a uterus anymore. Had the whole thing taken out. You're free to shoot." Oopsie. It must have failed. I guess now you have to be with me because I'm carrying your child. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big time. In the you sounded like Elvis. Nice. I can do an impression. But I mean like you think that they're not willing to do that? You think that an other man who's porking your wife and is getting real sick of her to wait around to sick of her waiting around for her to leave her man isn't gonna stealth real quick? Isn't gonna just poke a hole in his own condom? Like, is it SA? Yes. Is cheating also SA? In my opinion, yes. Yes, these things will only lead to worse things. I'm sorry, but if you and your partner have an agreement, a sexual contract of consent, where you both tell each other, we don't have to worry about each other stepping outside of here and sleeping with other people. This is a way that we can be unified in our health, aligned on our loyalties. We can protect ourselves. I can know for sure as a man that I will always be the father to your child. You can know for sure as a woman that you can test clean and then never test wrong again. I have heard that there are certain situations where an STI can be spread even when you don't sleep with other people, but it's like so exceedingly rare. You know what I mean? That it really shouldn't be something that you would have to worry about. But like when you break that contract, you go sleep with someone else, in my opinion, you're breaking the consent of the contract that you first had, and now you're SAing your original partner. I hate when people use the line, "Oh, well, me and my affair partner, it's all consensual between us." Okay, but what about the person you're cheating on whose pH balance you're later going to disrupt? No, that's SA in my opinion. Yeah, it's definitely SA, dude. So, oh my god. Yeah, affair babies, not much I don't know if married how many marriages survive an affair baby. I know a lot of marriages survive affairs. I think I've heard like when it's a marriage, there's like a 25% chance, something like that, but I don't know how many can survive a whole baby. What's one of the other questions that I put for? Oh my god, this one also makes me laugh. First time posting. 14 years I've been with my married man. There's been difficulties along the way, but more so recently. I have just bought a house by myself. Right, by yourself. You think your married man is gonna fucking co sign with you? Ha! And we have set a deadline on him moving in. January. I hope you're not financially planning for that. I hope that you've started budgeting for paying for that rent by yourself past January. Oh man, she really thought this was gonna work. Do you guys think I was wrong to kick off on him and call him selfish for prioritizing his marriage by booking two separate holidays? He went away end of August and currently away again now, and so am I, within 3 weeks with his wife. R/ am I the dumbass? Hey guys, am I the dumbass for thinking that the married man I've been sleeping with for the last 14 years and has not left his wife for the last 14 years maybe might not move into my house that I bought completely by myself and he has absolutely no responsibility on whatsoever after he just went on two separate vacations with his wife in the last month? Yeah, I would say you're the dumbass. Like, the last 14 years of him not leaving his wife wasn't enough to convince you that he might not leave his wife? Oh, you're gonna kick off on him now, are you? Cool. He doesn't care. This man is clearly well trained in the art of women nagging him. He's done it with two separate women consistently for 14 years. He does not care that you both bitch at him because you both still surrender the box, and that is all his narcissist brain cares about. I don't mean to like speak so tactlessly about his wife, who I'm assuming has no idea what's been happening to her own health for the last 14 years, right? But like, he's clearly happy with her. He's booking vacations with her. All right. And a lot of these side pieces, they'll convince themselves, oh, this poor man, he's in a really abusive, toxic relationship with his wife. She won't let him leave. And so he is forced to comply on going with on all-inclusive reserve vacations without the children, with the spouse. Like, he's forced to do that with her because she makes him. Like, come the f on, guys. Like, trust me, I get it. Like, there are a lot of guys in like really shitty marriages where they're kind of just bound financially, but the contempt and resentment is primarily the king and queen that rule over the marriage. Like, trust me, I get that. But like, these side pieces pretending like they're just this oppressed being who's like totally being lorded over by their spouse and forced to go on vacations, like, I fear you might be gaslighting yourself. I I fear you might be making excuses for a situation like that man is not moving in January. Enjoy the house. Start looking for a roommate. Like, come on, you really like she really tried to ultimatum him. She tried to hit him with that ultimatum, but he's already got what he wants. He's had 14 years of blissful double coochie. He's not fucking that up. What you mean? Now, here's an interesting one. Here's one of the diary entries where I was actually kind of like, actually, you know, goddamn it, I might be on your side for once. For once. And I showed this to you guys to prove that I really am a nuanced woman. Okay? Even when it comes to the cheaters, I can take their side once and again. This one goes, I had an affair with a married man, and now his wife is signing me up for affair dating websites with pictures and everything. Is this illegal? Yes! Yes, it is, actually. All right, so, you know, most of the time with cheaters, I think it's a FAFO basis. You F around, you're likely to find out. You're likely to not be getting much sympathy around these parts from me, all right? I think we all know that. That said, I think there's a lot of really great natural consequences of cheating to where you don't necessarily need to break laws to enact your revenge. There are tons of things that you can do to be legally evil. Like, that's why on the chaotic alignment chart, there's lawful evil, is because you can get your revenge, sadistically even, without putting yourself in jail. Come on now, we gotta be smarter about this, people. All right? If you're gonna get your revenge on someone who cheated on you or was cheating with your spouse, you gotta use your big brain. You're not going to jail over some side piece. Come on, let's be smarter than that. All right? You tell their employer. You send like an anonymous letter to the employer. You know, there are things you can do that won't get you into trouble. But yeah, that is actually illegal. As it turns out, it is illegal to use someone else's likeness to attempt to wrongfully represent their likeness in a way that can cause reputational harm. Now, this is where, you know, if you get a good lawyer, they might be able to battle it. You know, they might be able to say, oh, well, if I'm trying to, like, I'm trying really hard to, like, make a good case here, but I think they'd lose. If the lawyer tried saying, well, this isn't any kind of, you know, false sentiment. It was not done in ill will. In fact, we know this person to be interested in having affairs, as we do have concrete proof of this person's long-standing affair with this married man. You know, this person was simply trying to help them out and had no ill will. Like, you could attempt to make that, but at the end of the day, she did that out of spite, obviously, and she did it to cause reputational harm. She used someone else's likeness without their permission in a way that she does not have consent to. And it depends on, like, even those websites like Ashley Madison, the website where their tagline is life is short, have an affair, and they help you match you up with other people having affairs. Like, even then, I'm pretty sure they probably have some terms within the, like, creation of your account that is like, I state under penalty of law that this is my own identity, that I'm not making up a false identity. Like, I'm sure, especially after they got sued, dude, especially after Ashley Madison's lawsuit, I'm sure they've really cleaned up their legal language when it comes to their terms and conditions, right? Especially when it comes to that, I'm pretty sure it's a lawsuit, you know? That's also where the Cheating Chelsea lawsuit does get a little bit technical, because that's why a lot of the lawsuit as it stands right now is and like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there is a lawsuit where a woman who owns an affair coaching business is suing and being sued by a betrayed spouse who she, what's the right way I want to phrase this legally? In my opinion and of my understanding of what has been presented in the case, appeared to have created a very hostile environment for using her private community and unregulated posting within the community. Is that a good way to? I feel like that was possibly one of my best phrasings of it yet. So what's being discussed upon right now is the tort agreements basically within the contract. So Chelsea is basically saying that the spouse that she is suing, who joined her community specifically to find out why Chelsea knew so much about her life after Chelsea was posting public content having to do specifically with her own story, joined the website to find out that the side piece was in there posting the story and pictures of her and pictures of her kids, right? She decided to speak openly about that, allegedly. I actually haven't really seen the proof for this, which is why I'm so on the side of the betrayed spouse, but it is alleged that the betrayed spouse had begun to post somewhere publicly, this person is posting these things in this private community about me and my kids. Somewhere that was shared, I don't know if it may have been through DMs, I don't know where Chelsea or what the evidence is. It's not been presented yet. But Chelsea's mad because she thinks that Kristen, the betrayed spouse named in the case, is talking about it. Kristen is suing her back, saying that, well, if you're going to say that I violated the contract by speaking about what happens in there, you're violating our contract by bullying me, by sicking your community on me, by harassing me, by causing emotional and reputational distress to me. So you're violating your contract. And that's kind of where they're going back and forth at now. It's really fascinating to kind of like see how this is going to play out in court and like what a judge would say about it. But this is also why like other commentators don't really have like the same rules to follow, right? Like Chelsea attempted to send me a cease and desist saying that I'm not allowed to talk about her community because she thought that I had joined it. So she thought that I had agreed to her terms, but I never did. Like she'll never be able to accrue any proof that I've ever joined her community. I really don't know why she thought that. Like, it's your community. You should know that if I joined or not. You should be able to see my name, my credit card information. Like, why don't you have access to that, Chelsea? That's crazy. But she sent me a cease and desist accusing me of that and saying like, well, you're a part of my community, so you have to follow my rules. And I'm like, I'm not, so I don't. What the fuck are you talking about? But like, if this betrayed spouse joined Ashley Madison, she's bound by their rules. So if she broke the rule of like impersonating someone else, yeah, dude, like not only could the other lady sue her, but Ashley Madison can probably come after her too. I mean, they won't. If they sued every bot that made a dating profile, oh lord. But she can at least get IP banned. Not that she's gonna care. Like a betrayed spouse is gonna get mad that they're banned from Ashley Madison. You know what I mean? So I would say it's illegal, but it's probably a low risk illegal activity to commit. But also, I wouldn't like ever recommend anybody do that because getting sued isn't fun, is it, members of the audience? Because dealing with a lawsuit is not fun, no matter how right or wrong you are. It's just, you want to avoid it. Like, you can be a betrayed spouse and be totally in the right, and you still don't want to, like, go committing crimes, because now you're in the wrong. That sucks. Don't give up your spot of morality, you know? Let me see, I think I missed Kristen's earlier one, too. Hold on, let me catch a couple of the other super chats I missed. Jordan Peterson says, also, the like button, click it. Thank you for that, Jordan. I appreciate that. Then we had another one from Will Honorless, says, morally it's questionable, legally it's horrible. Personally, I like it. I know, that does seem to be the case with a lot of revenge stories, actually, where we're kind of like, you know, it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. Kristen, thank you for the generous 10, but I still get mad at you when you do this. I mean, shoot, you could be the person who just wanted to move on with your life and still get frivolously accused and sued for something you had nothing to do with. Yeah, and you know, it does seem to be that this is a person who has no idea what's really going on with within their community and is just ready to fire accusations and legal threats off at the hip at seemingly anybody that she doesn't like, you know? she's got to learn to be a lot less reactionary, dude. Like I'm starting to think that that may be why we had to move like 3 times in a fiscal year, is we might have a little bit too reactionary of responses to things, right? I think we might need to chill out. Kristen says again, if Lauren would have joined that community, she would have a lot more to say than she already does based on public facing content. Jesus Christ, I can only imagine. And if I can also just say, by the way, like, everything that I have ever reported when it comes to this case, like, I am reporting to you facts that I can read. I am reporting to you my opinions based on legal text. I have admitted when there are things that I don't know, but when it comes to certain things, like when I talk about, I believe that it is true that Olivia did post in these communities photos of the betrayed spouse. I believe that she did post in these communities things that she was trying to get people to compare their physical appearances. I believe that she did post that she was spying on the betrayed spouse's sexual activities with binoculars, and I believe that she did post that she went into the betrayed spouse's drawers to use one of her sexual toys without her consent. I believe those things to be true from reasonable discussions that I've had. Not only from the lawsuit itself, but because I believe the person who says that the evidence exists. Does that mean I've seen it? No, not necessarily. But I think that for there to be any real, honest defamation, I would have to genuinely believe that what I'm saying is false, that what I'm saying is completely made up. But I have a really strong reason to say what I've said. Okay? So let's just make that very clear. And I didn't sign nothing. I ain't signed no freaking contract. I can say what I want. Jordan Peterson, thank you for some more gifted memberships. Y'all are going to have some fun. There's no members only live this week, but like I said, you're going to get hit with a lot of early access. All right? Anyway, God, where were we? We got really into that case again, but that's what happens when we talk about cheaters around here. Aw, potato slices, thank you. You're so nice. All right, did I have any more from that one? Yes, there was one more that I wanted to show you. Just to show, we just really got to look at how delusional these cheaters are, man. When a married couple suffers infidelity, does it occur that promoting a quote-unquote happy marriage image on social media, or trying to send a message to stick it to the ex-affair partner, that image could be shattered if the ex-affair partner shares evidence to the contrary? Bunny boiler behavior. We just got hit with a horde BBB right here. That was the BBB real hard right here. This lunatic is still to this day so pressed over not being chosen, over her XMM choosing to try to reconcile his marriage and choosing to try to move forward in his marriage and heal and be happy as best they can. She's still so butthurt over that she's posting to anonymous question forums like, do you realize I could still ruin your life, you know? I still have the power to ruin you. Oh yeah? You think you look so happy together on Facebook? Well, what if I just started posting all of the proof of our affair? Yeah, would you like that? Like, okay, you could. Great still for the camera to die on. Let's fix that real quick here. I was like, man, it's getting to be that time where I typically have to change out the camera battery, but I was feeling it, you guys. We're really in the moment here. But I mean, like, really think about that. Like, she's clearly just seething and not at all coping with the fact that she didn't win someone else's husband. That now, even though it would do literally nothing positive for her own life, she's considering ruining their public image of a happy marriage just so that no one wins. Like, if you out the affair, yeah, everyone's just gonna look stupid. Like, he's gonna look like a cheater. The wife is gonna look like this, foolish, gullible spouse. And then you're gonna look like the homewrecker. Yeah, then everybody's life blows up, I guess. Cool. Yeah, I guess you could do that. Like, why would you do that, though? Like, I don't know, man. It sounds from the way that this post was stylized that there very was likely a D-Day. Like, the wife very likely knows. And she probably feels like there has now been an influx of happy posts to kind of like I said, this is a very normal territorial response. Like, it's weird to me that affair people, side pieces, mistresses, people like Cheating Chelsea will often like shame the betrayed spouse or speak about her as though she's behaving badly when she starts like posting more photos with her own husband than usual, or starts trying to promote an image of a happy marriage. Like, "Oh, honey, that's so pathetic of you." Like, that's a very natural response. Like, she's attempting to salvage her attachment. She's just like, it's a territorial protective thing that a person naturally does to try to protect their family. And you can say, like, oh no, what you should be doing is just leaving the cheater. Like, you can say that, but if they don't want to, if they genuinely believe that working through it is going to be what's best, then yeah, that's what they're going to do. Is they will stand 10 toes down, and they will really lean into focusing on being a happy family. Yeah, that is what's going to happen. And it sometimes, is it to kind of remind you who the real wife is? Yeah, I bet sometimes it is. But other times it's just a wife posting with her husband. That's what wives do with their husbands. Like, you can choose to take it personally, or you can accept, oh yeah, she's doing that because it's her husband. It always blows my mind how many of these side pieces like cry online when their married boyfriend goes and spends quality time with his wife. Duh. Do you even know the game you're playing right now? Like, I don't start playing Tetris and then go, why does it want me to fit these pieces together? That's the game I chose to start playing, dude. I'm not about to start playing solitaire and then go, why are we playing with cards right now? That's the game. You can't play the game without those elements. YouTube has been meaner with the ads, by the way. That's across every single channel. Every single creator is experiencing this. And like, when I toggle my ads, I do the moderate option, the one between there being like a massive ton and like a very, very seldom few. Look, when I start really popping off as a YouTuber, when like every video I drop is getting like 100,000 views, like some of these people, then I could probably afford to turn the ads down on my live streams. But unfortunately, until then, like, I'm really, it's like, some of you guys think that I'm like a millionaire and I like, drive a Tesla or something. Like, I left my last comfortable job because I would make slightly more here. Like, it was not a massive lifestyle difference. It was just a slightly better job, like slightly better pay, with way more freedom. And that's the big reason I took it. It's not like because I'm making like $100,000 more a year than I was in the past, you guys. So I appreciate you listening to the ads. And if you ever do want ad-free live streams, it's not that expensive to join the YouTube membership or the Patreon. Not that bad. So also an option. But thank you for watching the ads. I appreciate it. Lauren is definitely a thousandaire. Absolutely. Actually, I did tell TJ, I was like, dude, if I ever did make it to 1,000,000, I would not allow it to happen. I would just continually like keep donating it so that it would only ever be at like 999,999. Like I would just, nope. I would morally refuse being a millionaire. But I do hope that I can get there because I would say that I'm probably a more fiscally responsible person to have access to money. Like, I feel like I know how to use it well, but also by that point, I'd definitely be hiring other money people to to make sure that my hubris is not standing in my way, you know? Yeah, no, I would have never in my life made 8 figures, you guys. I grew up as a Ukrainian immigrant in Detroit, all right? Like, well, my family were the Ukrainian immigrants, but immigrant families, they're not really swimming in that moolah, you know what I mean? We have barely made it to like mildly comfortable and not crying every day status. I mean, okay, lately the crying every day's come back a little bit, but like not all day. It's not all day. Oh man. Okay. What else do I got for you? I feel like I had a couple other cheating things, a couple other cheating stories for you. We'll go back to the original Reddit ones for the rest of these. I think we'll go all the way to 2:30 today for live streaming. I thought about maybe taking some time to like record some other stuff not live, but we're here. We're having fun. What do you guys think? Y'all down to keep chilling? Keep getting our minds off of the existential horrors that will not stop tracking us down. Barbecue Cat says, I use an ad blocker, so here's my support. Nice, thank you. I appreciate that. Her maiden name is Lauren Motown, lived in Detroit, more like owned Detroit. Listen, Dylan, just because I lent you $3 million that one time and have still never made you pay me back doesn't mean that you have to go like glazing me up and telling everybody the real truth about me. All right, here's another one. This is another one that I love from the side piece community, because if there is one thing that I've learned that female side pieces in particular love doing, it's they love blaming anyone who does not appreciate and respect their freedom and independence to have sex with anyone they want, even if he's married, as oppressive patriarchy. That's right. If you don't stand 10 toes down on supporting her as a woman to achieve sexual freedom by getting pounded out by some other woman's husband, you're just a patriarchal oppressor is what you are. Yeah, that's a common talking point. It's another way that like the very bad faith love weaponizing the idea of feminism, which has caused it to like mutate and become this like kind of viscerally ugly thing to a lot of people. It's when they do shit like this. All right. Ladies, did you even realize we were upholding the patriarchy? This one was posted from r/adulteryhate. They got this one. I think I actually found the original one if we don't want to see it on there, just to prove to you guys that someone really did post it there. Let me see. Oh no, I did find it later, but I didn't copy the link to my itinerary. But this was someone who posted to r/theotherwoman, workplace affairs caught out men versus women. Legitimate question. Why do we think as a society women in workplace affairs are often the ones who get treated worse when found out, especially when they are not in relationships of their own, and their AP is the one stepping out on a partnership? It's something I'm curious about because my long-term affair partner ended it with me this week. And among some of the reasons he gave me was he felt like if we were getting a little too loose and obvious, and he would hate for us to be caught, especially knowing I would probably be treated worse than him because I'm female. I know I may have felt differently before being another woman myself, but I can't understand how we societally default to that. Someone comments, until society stops seeing women as whores, sluts, and simply dirty for wanting consensual sex, this balance will exist. That's without adding the context of adultery. First of all, man, that man was only telling you that drivel about, like, I'm just worried about your reputation, to make you feel better and to make you feel like maybe it was like partly your idea or something, that like he's actually a hero for breaking up with his side piece. In fact, like he's actually a martyr. Like he somehow convinced you that him dumping one of the many women that he's absolutely playing like a fiddle is him being some kind of like Clark Kent or something. Like, be so for real, because, yeah, I agree that the side piece often does take like a brunt of the blame when an affair is discovered, but also not fully true that that's all. It's always the woman who gets it the worst in a workplace environment. And you know what's a really great example of that? Coldplay Gate. Dude, the Coldplay kiss camera. Two high-ranking members of a corporation, a CEO and the head of HR, were discovered together cheating on their spouses. Only the man got canned, so explain that one to me. It's not really true though, is it? God, they just want to be victims of their own shit behavior so bad, don't they? Why are we playing Marco Polo with ACs and DCs right now? What is going on in the chat? I just look over and Norris is going, AC, DC. Let me see. Wait, why are we talking about it? Like, why are we talking about Washington? I missed something. Anyway, I got some more. I got some more for you. This one made me laugh. I found this one in our favorite sub, r/the other woman, posted by small brown-eyed girl. Oh, even their usernames, they have to infantilize themselves. I'm not a cheater. I'm just a small brown-eyed girl. Oh, like, like, I would tell you to go suck a dick, but you're clearly choking back plenty of other people's husbands' dicks, so, like, I don't have to tell you to do that. What did Tuxedo say? That's just Norse playing with himself. God damn it. He says, I'm insane, by the way. Understandable. The darkest timeline of Clippy. So this one says, I moved on. Confused. I'm getting divorced from my cheating husband, and I've been moved out for 2 months. I reconnected with an old acquaintance at my martial arts class, and we hit it off beautifully. I told my married man that I'd been asked out on a date, and he really reacted poorly. I know that was a bit of a roller coaster. I'll try to help catch you back up to speed. Yes, we do in fact have a grown-ass fucking adult infantilizing themselves down to just a small brown-eyed girl posting to a subreddit for the other woman who is pissed that her husband is also cheating on her. So she decided to react to being cheated on by her husband, who she's also cheating on, by going on a date with her old acquaintance. And that when she told the guy she's cheating on her cheating husband with, he didn't take the news as well as he should have. So she's Super Saiyan stupid. Got it. All right, I'm caught up. I don't know about you guys. Didn't seem to care and accused me of trying to make him jealous. Was he wrong? Was he wrong, though? I dropped the subject and quietly decided to go on the date. It was amazing to be with someone that was 100% available. I wonder if your date is able to feel the same way. Shame he won't get to know what that part of the date feels like. He's respectful, kind, intentional, sweet, and we are really compatible. We've embarked on a relationship, and I have become distant to my married man. Wow, that's so great of you that you found a guy who's so great that you'll only kind of cheat on him, that you'll tone it down a little. Man, what a lucky guy to have found you. Like, he could have been an unlucky sap like your cheating ex-husband who got fully cheated on by you. But since he's a great guy, he only deserves a little bit of cheating as a treat. God, what a lucky son of a gun. Holy shit. Well, now he tells me he loves me and he's considering divorce, but it could take years to unravel his marriage. It's me or nobody else for him. I've loved this man for so long that our lives are intertwined. I can't imagine being without him, but I am falling for my new guy, and he's choosing me every day. I know what I need to do here, but I wanted to point out that there is life after this constant emptiness. I'd give anything to be his and live happily ever after, but that isn't something I can hang my hat on without missing out on something lovely right in front of me right now. I'm choosing me today and choosing a future that doesn't run on breadcrumbs. It doesn't sound like that's the case, though, because she doesn't sound very committed to that choice. I know she says, like, I'm choosing this, but, like, I don't think she means it. I think what she really means that she's choosing is she's choosing the guy who thinks that she's actually single and actually thinks that it's safe to commit to her, and choosing the breadcrumbs. Like, she thinks that the real solution to escaping a relationship where you're just, like, gaslit and breadcrumbed and given like false realities constantly so that you'll just like stay the loyal side piece and he also never has to leave his marriage. Like, she thinks that the real solution to escaping a dynamic like that is to just add more dick. That's right. Your problem isn't that you're living an isolating, self-confidence destroying existence of constantly being someone's plan C, plan D, plan E on any given occasion, and you're being completely used up for your body and not being loved the way that you actually need to like cope mentally as a person. No. You just have to add on more dick, continue being more deceitful, pissing off everybody involved, and then that's how you choose yourself. Girlhood. Too many pronouns to make sense. No, she gets no dick. If Chloe were here, she would agree. You get no dick. Goodness me. Make an add more dick compilation. I think this is the last one we'll do for today because I'm pretty sure it's the last one I even have in my itinerary. And then actually, I think I am gonna have to go eat something. I think I'm forced at this point. This one reads, posted to the other woman again. extremely happy and blessed with my married man. I wanted to really end us on a high note here, really show you guys the peak life of being an other woman. Hi everyone. Just wanted to share. It's been almost a year since me and my married man got together, and I couldn't be happier. We went on a vacation earlier this year, and will soon be on another vacation toward the end of the year. I currently still live with my parents as a 28-year-old female, and nobody knows that I'm in a relationship with an older 42-year-old man. But so far, this is the happiest relationship I've been in. He's so considerate of my emotions and never fails to give me time and attention despite his busy schedule every day. I love that he takes care of me in all aspects, and I appreciate that about him. I used to feel guilty with this setup, but he constantly tells me that I'm not a homewrecker, that he and his wife are no longer sleeping in the same bed, and had marriage issues long before I met him. He also plans to legally separate, regardless of if I'm in his life or not. Very, totally honest and true. We have plans of living together once a week beginning next year, but I hope one day, when everything is legal, I can introduce him to my family and some friends. The world can be so tough and judgmental, which is why going abroad on vacations feels so liberating for us, since we can hold hands and people don't judge us because of our age gap. That's all. Just wanted to share that I'm in a happy relationship with a married man. Sending hugs to everyone. What's so funny is that, like, I have the post history of these people down to a science. The same way that I have concocted the exact formula for what always happens with partner shamers, I have the exact formula for people who post to r slash the other woman, like down to the flare. It always starts like this. And for some reason, there is almost always roughly a 20-year age gap. It is almost always someone in their 40s having an affair with someone in their 20s. And I think that there are a lot of reasons to explain this dynamic, right? Like, older men, of course, find younger women attractive. They also, at that point, appear more trustworthy to young women because a lot of them are fathers, they're wives, people trust them, they're established, they know how to take care of themselves. Whereas girls in their 20s tend to be pretty freaking dumb. I'm sorry. Even the smartest ones of them. I am definitely no outliner to, being pretty freaking dumb, even though I was very smart in some ways. And look, I'm not trying to call all 20-year-olds dumb. When I was working in the technology field, there were women like 20 years of age who would outclass me in programming, in computer literacy phenomenally. I was so impressed constantly. They also made terrible dating decisions. You know what I mean? Like, two things can be true. And women fresh in their 20s, there's often a lot going on. They've often, by that age, are still working out some of their earliest insecurities still left over from, whatever was going on with the media that convinced them that they weren't skinny enough, they weren't pretty enough, their hair wasn't long enough, whatever it is. They're still working through those insecurities. They're still working to become more and more confident. They've also, by that age, probably been hurt by a couple of guys. They've probably seen very unstable, unsuccessful, immature men. And at that age, a well established, confident, older man with resources who knows how to talk to women is going to look really good. Really good. And I think that is kind of how a lot of people end up in this dynamic, especially because it's often through workplaces. They are often younger employees. They end up spending a lot of personal quality time with this older man. Shit happens. Okay. So they start off with this like good vibes. Oh my God. Like, I know that this isn't exactly perfect, but like, he really understands me, and da da da. They don't know what love bombing is yet. They don't know that they're being love bombed. And a lot of them, they confuse him cheating on his wife for, I must be so amazing that I'm finally teaching him what real love looks like. Like, they genuinely, especially because a lot of these guys, they're spinning these yarns of like, I'm not sleeping with my wife. We don't even talk anymore. And, you know, she's actually a terrible person and you're saving me from her. Like, this is the dynamic. But as time passes, it quickly becomes confused Flair, in my feels Flair. He told me they don't have a good relationship, but I always see her posting positive things about them on her Facebook. And I thought that we had something special, but why is he going on vacation with her? And then eventually it's like gone no contact. They try to like make him chase her by like breaking up with him softly, which does sometimes work, in fact, and that extends the affair a little bit. But it like follows that route, but it eventually either goes no contact, they break up, or D-Day. But very seldom do you hear about these people like, anyway, like, we're together, it's still working. Like, that is why Cheating Chelsea is working so hard to sell women on this idea that not only is it possible for you to ride away into the sunset with someone else's husband successfully, but that you can pay someone to help you find yourself enough to potentially have that reality. It's a good grift. I gotta say, I gotta rate it, you know? 10 out of 10 as far as, in my opinion, evil grifting scams go. It's a pretty good one. Very Disney villain coded. Bitter men and bitter women could probably heal together. I'm trying, Viennery. I'm trying. Trying here. But that's been that on these cheating communities. What do you guys think about these cheating communities? Do you think that your like morbid curiosity is going to cause you to start scrolling through them occasionally, as I do? Every once in a while, when I just need a little nosh of some, you know, cheater schadenfreude, I just really like to go in there and see them post things like, "Yeah, I've been cheating on my husband for 10 years and I just found out he's cheating on me now." It's just, I don't know. It does make me a little happy. Brings a little twinkle to my eye. I have to admit. Call me an a-hole. Say I'm just bitter. But you know, one thing I know for damn sure is every single one of these proud other women, these affair partners, these cheating Chelseas, include cheating Chelsea herself, would be gagged. Like, wig snatched, falling down the wall, sobbing hysterically, dry heaving, snot bubble exploding in her own face, devastated on her knees if she found out she got cheated on. Okay? So, this whole holier than thou, you betrayed spouses aren't really handling this very well, are you? Is just an absolute joke. And you can see through it. You can see through it in her own content. You know, by the way she reacts to being asked, like, first of all, she's in denial that Stan ever would cheat on her. She claims to be open-minded to the idea of it. She's like, well, I'm not in denial. I know that it could happen. I just choose not to live in fear. That's what I choose to do. But then when asked, okay, so Stan cheats on you. Now what do you do? She goes, I would give myself the gift of divorce. I wouldn't do anything retaliatory. I wouldn't make his life difficult at all. I would give him the easiest life of all time. Okay. Yeah, I would be such an easy person to cheat on. Great. Okay. You can have that personality if you want. That can be you. Cheating Chelsea, if you want to be the queen of people who would handle getting cheated on better than anyone else, here's your crown. You can have that title. I'll be Queen Crash Out. That's fine. I am perfectly fine with letting any man know that I will absolutely crash out if I got cheated on. There, you have no expectation of me being chill if you cheat on me. Why would you ever do that? Like, Chelsea thinks she's setting herself up for success by like choosing not to worry about it, but like that's her literally telling Stan like you're more likely to have an easy life if you cheat on me. And I would never say that to anybody. I once heard this story where this guy was talking about how he got cheated on, and when he was talking to his wife about it, she reminded him that apparently very early on in their dating, he told her, if you cheat on me, I'll forgive you. And I was so torn on that because I'm like, I mean, Jesus, like, I always say there's no good reason to cheat, there's no excuse for it, right? But, like, why would you tell her that? Why would you completely unprompted tell someone, I would forgive you if you cheated on me? Unless you were trying to get them to admit, like, oh, it's a good thing you said that because I did cheat on you so that you could break up with them, like hit them with the Uno reverse, like, just kidding, but thank you for your honesty. Then then I can see where you're coming from. But like, that was like one of the first and only times where someone got cheated on, and it was savage, and there was no good reason for it. He was a good guy, he had been doing everything right. But when he brought that up, I was like, well, now she has a point. Well, now are you a man of your word, aren't you? I don't know why you gave her that rope to hang you with, but you did. What are you gonna do now? Oh my god. I would never in my life start a relationship by saying, hey, it's fine if you cheat on me. We'll get through it. No, no. Like, even if it was true, even if it was true that I would have a higher propensity to forgive them, I would lie. And I would let them know under no conditions would I ever forgive you, so don't do it. Why would you? Yeah, Fiend says, why would you ever say that? I know, I see Senhan has just caught up. Yeah, that one was a bad line. I didn't call that one out as much as I should have. That's how you get cucked. I know! Dude, at that point, I was like, did you want her to cheat on you? Like, did you, like, were you trying to explore some, like, cuck fantasies and, like, this was your way of hard launching it? Like, you're like, you know what? It, out of the frying pan and into the fire. It's time to see if I'm really down for this. It could have been worse. Yeah, you said you'd forgive me, so I cheated. I think that's basically what she was implying. Like, I don't necessarily know if she was implying that the reason she cheated was because he said he'd forgive her, but I think that she always kept that as like a, all right, I've at least got one forgiveness card in my back pocket. You know? It's kind of like if you give someone a hall pass, they're they're probably gonna end up using it at one point. You know? Like, you gotta really clarify those terms, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, you, and even if you thought that way at the beginning, you really got to clarify if those terms expire. Like, hey, you know how I said this? I think things have changed. You might want to do that. Mm-mm. Crazy. All right. It's time I get out of here. I gotta feed myself some lunch or something, start moving, clean the house, call back a few people that need to be called back. But let me try and get you guys some pet tax. I'm gonna try and find a moach loafer, but if I can't, I'll at least get the dogs that dog can. All right. Cats and stuff. All right, dogs. I do that, it usually means I want you to go sit on the couch so you're out of the way of my workouts, but this time I just want you to get up so you can come say hi to my friends. All right, it's time for the animal cam. Oh wow, it's actually like not super great right now. I might have to get some brightness on here. Let me make myself smaller. Let me get out of the way of the dog camera. Come here, Parker, come here. They want to see you, dude. All right, we might have to improve the animal cam setup. Get a bit more brightness on here, but we got the Miles. Here, Miles. Look in the camera. Bye, Miles. Alright, I'm just gonna leave that on the floor for now. You guys can look at my expo marker. Alright. Well, that's been our animal cam. I'll get you guys some Prince Unicorn tax later. I'm gonna starting out my videos with pet tax, that's for sure. But all right, before I get going and get out of here, are there any final thoughts, words from the peanut gallery, any last minute super chats? What you got? I know you guys need to like the live because I keep forgetting to tell you that. Excellent use of the Parker emotes. Let's go. Oh wait, I missed this one from King Dom. Got to be awake at 3:50 a.m. for work, so I'm now going to bed to wind down. Have a great stream, Lauren. Keeping you and sending lots of love. Thank you, Dom. We need that. All right, I think that's about it for now. I'm gonna get going. Might have time to film a quick little something before. Oh, was it silent on the animal tax? Huh. What? No, it says the microphone should be working. I had to double check. I was like, what? Oh, you know what? I just realized Paul probably just started the stream. And that's what we're getting. Oh my god, Shadow God. No, I have not watched Jossie the Tiger and the Fish yet. So can we cover the average male fantasy video? Oh yeah. We can do that for our next members only live. If I really crank out some videos, I might end up throwing a members only live at the end to do that one. So we'll see. Otherwise, we'll definitely do that one next week because you guys have been wanting more shoe reactions. Get a chinchilla. No. I like my pets non-nocturnal. Okay? Tried a nocturnal pet once. Preferred my sleep. I heard you, but I didn't hear the dogs. Weird. I mean, yeah, I guess they weren't speaking. Did you even at least hear their clops of their feet? Weird. All right. It's time for me to go. I will catch you guys in the next one. Until soon.